counting has been really good.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell us more about the last 10 days of Ramadan.
Well, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabi al-karim wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. The last 10 days of Ramadan, if you are talking of days, there are no any other days in that month that are as significant as they are. They are very virtuous in the sense that it is in those days that the night of power occurs. And the night of power is the night in which the Quran was revealed. The glorious Quran was revealed in the night of power, night of decree. And at the same time, in that very night also, we have budgeting. That is decree. Whatever is decreed to happen all over the year is going to take place on that night.
Interesting.
So you can see how significant it is.
Yeah, so what are Muslims supposed to do, during that period?
Well,
talking about the 10 days.
Yeah, the Muslims are supposed to add more in their activities of righteous deeds, to increase in the righteous deeds, like recitation of the Quran, praying more special prayers, giving out charity, stretching their hands to the needy, even visiting other people in order to gain the pleasure of the Almighty Allah. So more especially the prayer, the night prayer, the tahajjud, the night prayer of the last part of the night is called tahajjud, where it's only performed by the people who are determined, where people are feeling the comfort of their bed. You wake up to pray, it's only when you are determined and courageous that you can do it. So that prayer is very, very important in this very days. Why? Because we want to coincide with the night. Why? Because the night is hidden. So we are made to pursue the night through righteous deeds, either in the 21st, the night of 21st, or 23rd, or 25th, or 27th, or 29th, as mentioned by our Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So you can see how significant it is.
Yes.
So it is very, very virtuous that Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah for seeing the beginning of the night, the last 10 days.
Okay.
And at the same time, in that very night of power, when we are talking about the night of power, Allah mentioned in the Quran saying, Laylatul Qadr khairu min alf shahr. That single night is better than 1,000 nights in the lifetime of some human being. So if you pray or if you perform any righteous deed in the night of power, it will be better than performing the same acts of ibadah, the same righteous deeds in over 83 and 4 months.
What you're saying is quite interesting for me. That is not even a Muslim. And prayer is something that every individual is supposed to hold very sacred. Now, we're in difficult times in Nigeria. How can Muslims, maximize the bounties, of this last 10 days to seek Allah's divine intervention for Nigeria? Actually,
even yesterday's night, when we were praying at the interval, I made mention that people should not forget our country. This is the country that we only have. We have no any other place to go.
Yes.
That's where God wants to see you.
Yes.
So you have to pray that may Allah make this country a peaceful one, a country where you feel comfortable living there, not having this kind of terrorism or whatever is happening. So we tell people that, I told people that they should even intensify prayer more than what they need from God.
Yes.
If you need a car, even if you have a car or a house or you get married, when there is no security, you don't enjoy those things.
Yes.
So ask Allah for Him to bring back the security, peace and harmony and tranquility in our country, so that whatever you have, you enjoy it. But you don't enjoy anything if there is no security, there is no peace in the country. So I really enjoined people yesterday that they should not forget Nigeria in our prayers, and at the same time our leaders, for God to show them the way so that they can take us to the promised land.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Imam Muhammad Kabir, he is the Imam of Huye Jamaat Mosque here in Abuja. Thank you for your time with us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And wish you the best for the last 10 days.
Thank you very much.
Keep praying for us.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's go on a break. We're back. Stay tuned.
You can get more news and updates on www.nta.ng or follow us on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NTA Network News, and also stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Also remember to watch our news live streaming at www.nta.ng/live.
All right, welcome back. We hear that in Rivers State, Governor Wike meets traditional leaders of Ogoni land. What for? Jenny is set to tell us in Port Harcourt. Jenny?
Thank you very much, Ruth. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has tasked traditional rulers and community leaders to work with government to fight the security challenges confronting the country. This was when the leadership of the Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers in Ogoni paid him a visit at Government House, Port Harcourt. Ogeni Nyekwere reports.
With the spate of insecurity across the country and pockets of killings in the state, Governor Wike charged the traditional rulers from Ogoni land to support the government in fighting insecurity by providing useful intelligence and reporting suspicious movement in their domains to security agencies for prompt action.
All of you as traditional rulers, you have a role too to play in various domains. All these boys who are doing cultism, killing themselves, bringing crisis in your communities. Like the Paramount Lofter said, we are willing. If you don't want to give to police, give to us. We will handle it.
The Ogoni traditional rulers were at the government house to thank the governor for the numerous developmental projects and programs his administration has embarked in Ogoni land.
Today we are not going to beg anything. You have too many things to give to us, but today we are not begging anything. We are coming to say thank you to what you have done already.
This thank you visit is particularly to convey our joy and happiness for the construction of the Sakpewa-Bori Corner Road. The brand new road has strengthened the economy and commerce of Ogoniland.
They also notified the governor of the planned civic reception in his honor by the Ogonis, slated for the 15th of May 2021. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwere, NTA News.
The Nigerian Red Cross Society has been commended for their support to the vulnerable and consistency to humanitarian services in the country. Evelyn Baduekbo reports that this was at a meeting with the Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Glory Edetin Uyo, Akwa Ibom State.
The Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Glory Edet, extolled the efforts of the Red Cross for supporting humanitarian services across the country, especially emergencies during disasters and communal clashes. She observed the state governor has created the peaceful environment that has allowed for smooth operations of organizations within the state.
Giving to the poor is something that everyone should be doing.
Branch Chairman of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, Dr. Samuel Ikon, reiterated the aim of the Red Cross, which is alleviating human suffering, protecting lives and caring for people in need since 1960.
We are an organization whose importance to the community lies foremost in the values we hold dear.
The Red Cross Society solicits support to host a conference in Uyo towards cushioning the impact of natural and man-made disasters. In Uyo, Evelyn Badu Epo, NTA News.
And Nationwide will continue with Mohammed in Maiduguri after the break.
Recently, both the president and vice president demonstrated leadership by being among the first Nigerians to have the AstraZeneca vaccine administered to them on live TV for all in the country to see. Subsequently, many federal ministers, political leaders and members of the Presidential COVID-19 Task Force have publicly taken the vaccine to follow in the footsteps of President Buhari and Vice President Oshibaja. To obtain it yourself, please go to the NPHCDA website. There is a link to click on in order to register and schedule your vaccination. In the meantime, please continue to wear face masks, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer, and observe social distancing. This message was brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
From Maiduguri. Disease, a major cause of morbidity and mortality, especially among infants and the aged, has continued to record high number of cases being diagnosed in hospitals across Borno State. With nearly 500,000 persons treated for malaria in Borno in 2020 alone, government is sustaining collaboration with development partners to roll back the disease. Pauline Kujevana takes a look at the efforts to fight the scourge in Borno State.
Malaria is a life-threatening disease caused by a parasite which spreads to humans through the bite of infected mosquitoes carrying the Plasmodium parasite. With several strains of the disease active in Nigeria, treatment often involves combination therapy of drugs. The geographical location of Borno in the sub-Saharan region and environmental factors are the major causes of breeding high number of mosquitoes, thereby causing malaria after bites.
My advice to people out there is you make use of mosquito insecticide treated bed nets, and they should keep their environment clean. Make sure they dispose water and other sewage and containers appropriately.
Here in Borno State, the disparity in the current and previous figures of cases recorded is a call for strategies and improved mobilization to fight the disease to a halt.
It may look like the number of cases have increased, but it is also showing that the range of reporting has been widened, staff have been trained, tools have been everywhere, and therefore the numbers seem to look higher in 2020.
The Permanent Secretary Minister of Health, Dr. Mohamed Guluzi, made non-government intervention plans to eliminate the disease.
We have an annual work plan that has been developed to ensure that malaria is contained and eradicated in Borno State. This ranges from environmental control.
The fight against malaria can be strengthened if residents can complement government efforts by ensuring that their environments are kept clean to rid off mosquitoes' breeding spaces. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
In other news, Jama'atul Izadatul Bidya wa Iqamatus Sunnah Jibwis, Borno State has flagged off its annual Ramadan distribution of clothing materials to orphans and widows to enable them celebrate Eid al-Fitr this year. Food palliatives were also given to vulnerable persons in the society with a call on the wealthy to reach out to the needy in their communities, especially the victims of Boko Haram crisis. Abubakar Muhammad Musa has the details.
It has been estimated that there are more than 70,000 orphans living in Borno State, mostly in Maiduguri metropolis, and left unattended too, thereby likely to fall victims of societal vices and criminality. Most of the widows and orphans are victims of the over a decade of insurgency who are displaced from their communities. As part of effort to reduce the number to its barest minimum, Jama'atu Izalatul Bid'a wa Iqamatus Sunnah Jibwis decided to address the plight of these orphans by giving them clothing materials to enable them celebrate Eid al-Fitr at the end of Ramadan. Chairman Jibwis Borno State, Ustaz Babagoni Abdu, explained that 5,000 orphans and 50 widows will benefit from the organization's annual Ramadan program. The leadership of Jibwis Borno State is sparing no effort in ensuring the zones earmarked for the gesture receive the items.
Karkashin kungiyar ne muke gudanar da al'amura. Ita kungiyar karan kanta ba ta da wani kuɗi ajiyayye da take wannan aiki. To amma tana bin masu kuɗi, masu hannu da shuni, ma'aikatan gwamnati da ƙungiyoyi takan nemi taimako saboda a samu a tallafa wa marayun.
The key message by other executive members of Jibwis is for the society, especially wealthy individuals, to always reach out to orphans for God's abundant blessings. The children prayed God to consider members of Jibwis among the fortunate ones in the hereafter for giving them a sense of belonging. Among those who graced the Ramadan distribution to widows and orphans were the representatives of the Shehu of Borno and that of wife of the state governor, as well as religious leaders led by Chief Imam of Borno. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the establishment of a National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to be domiciled in the Office of the National Security Advisor. A statement from the Office of the National Security Advisor says the center replaces the defunct Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons and shall serve as the institutional mechanism for policy guidance, research and monitoring of all aspects of small arms and light weapons in Nigeria. The impact of the proliferation of small arms and light weapons across national borders in Africa and the Sahel region has resulted in terrorism, human trafficking, organized crime, and insurrections in West Africa and Nigeria. Hence, the need to upskill measures to tackle this threat. The statement notes that the new center will be fulfilling the requirements of the ECOWAS moratorium on import, export and manufacture of light weapons, as well as the UN Plan of Action to prevent, combat and eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons. Major General Abba Mohamed Diko, former military advisor, United Nations Office for West Africa and Commander, Operation Lafia Dole, has been appointed the pioneer coordinator of the center. The Department of State Services says it will no longer tolerate deliberate machinations by subversive and hostile groups whose agenda is to throw the country into anarchy so as to serve the interests of their sponsors. A statement by the DSS spokesperson, Dr. Peter Afunanya, explains that even though democracy offers free speech, it does not give room for reckless pronouncements that is capable of undermining security. The DSS therefore warned self-centered individuals to stop engaging in acts inimical to the peace and sovereignty of the nation. The service therefore reaffirms its support to an indivisible, indissoluble and united Nigerian state in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Meanwhile, the service is working with other security and law enforcement agencies to ensure the maintenance of peace and internal security of the country. And more on security, operatives of the Niger Police Force attached to the Ebonyi State Police Command have intercepted 753 live ammunition of general purpose machine gun concealed in a sack being transported from Abakaliki, Ebonyi State to Umuahia in Abia State. A statement by the force PRO CP Frank Mba indicates that the intelligence-driven covert operation is part of efforts by the force to crack down on criminal networks and supply chains for weapons and ammunition in and around the country. Similarly, following investigations into the foiled bank robbery on the Onu Eke branch of a commercial bank in Ebonyi State on Tuesday, 27th April 2021. Police stormed the criminal hideout of suspects indicted in the investigation at Oriuzu village in Eza North local government area of Ebonyi State, where 3 gang members met their Waterloo following bullet injuries sustained during the exchange of gunfire. Meanwhile, efforts are ongoing to arrest other fleeing members of the gang and their spiritual godfather. In the meantime, on May 1st, 2021, gunmen driving in a white bus attacked the Abomege Divisional Police Headquarters in Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State and started shooting sporadically at the policemen on duty, while also attempting to set the police station ablaze. In the process of repelling 2 police officers were injured. The Commissioner of Police, Ebonyi State Command CP Aliyu Garba, has vowed to do anything within the ambit of the law to ensure the perpetrators are brought to book. Well, as the nation continues to seek solution to the rising insecurity in the country, Ebonyi State government, in collaboration with Christian Association of Nigeria, Ebonyi State chapter, has declared 7 days fasting and prayer in the state. with a call for the political class to desist from utterances and actions capable of fueling crisis in the country. Chika Okorie reports.
While praying God to help the nation come out of insecurity, Governor David Umahi alleged that some of the crises going on in parts of the country were politically motivated. He called on the political class to exhale politics of calumny, rancor and bitterness, stressing that the state and country can achieve more development if citizens are on the same page with government. He emphasized the need to pacify the youth whose future were shortchanged, as it will stem the rates of criminalities in the society.
But the leaders never preserve life for the future of our children. They have no jobs, they have no means of livelihood, and it's been a very long time. The leaders know how to take care of themselves.
The 7 days program aimed at seeking God's intervention on the security situation in the state and the country at large will also pave way for stakeholders' engagement in addressing youth-related challenges in the state. In Abakaliki, Chika Okorie, NTA News.
Right, government and people of Niger State are seeking God's intervention to end incessant security challenges that have continued to rock the state. The special prayer session organized by the State Forum of Ulamas, Traditional Institute and other Islamic organizations was held at Mina Central Mosque. Husseina Musa reports.
Reports have shown that thousands of people in 50 communities have been displaced by bandits and currently taking refuge in neighboring communities and the state capital. The special prayer session, which was led by the chief imam of Mina, Malam Ibrahim Isa Fari, featured Quranic recitation by a large number of ulamas to seek Allah's infinite love and mercy to mankind to heal the land and put a permanent end to the security challenges bedeviling the state and country at large.
For 8 hours, we have received a lot of support with regards to security agents from the federal government, and I believe they are mobilizing themselves.
The governor also enthused that with the present vigor and commitment by the federal government and other stakeholders to end insurgency, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Emina Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Repairs have commenced on rail line in Ungwarshanu of Kaduna Metropolis following derailment of train conveying water pipes to Zaria. The Nigeria Railway Corporation mobilized 2 sections of the line allegedly vandalized. While it is expected that work will be completed in the next few days to allow free movement of train service from Lagos to northern parts of the country. For quite a long time, there has been no formal recognition for the millions of Nigerians in the diaspora, despite their significant contributions to growth of the economy. But recent approval of the national policy on diaspora by the Federal Executive Council is going to change things for the better. Their voices is now to be heard. Osman Ali reports.
It's very rare to remember those days of empires and colonies. That was the time when the now developed economies in their hours of need turned to Africa, including Nigeria. It's indeed a forgotten story about those sacrifices, and in these modern times, more than 17 million Nigerians, full of creativity and energy, are in the United States of America, United Kingdom, Europe, Asia, and other parts of the world, leaving hints of their daunting reputations and legacies, just as they contribute for the economic and social development of their origin.
You cannot ignore a group that is contributing to the economy of this country through remittances to their families. Now, these remittances to their families have kept the families going, and that way getting the economy going. So you cannot ignore a group that has been an economic factor, setting in almost about 6% of our GDP, contributing almost 6% of our GDP. Now, the diaspora is definitely an economic factor. Now we're moving on to ensure that they become an investment factor. investing in their country. We have Nigerians that own some critical parts of the world, and I mean that.
And it is in this regard, for the first time, the government celebrate, honor and recognize the diaspora community with a policy framework approved by the Buhari's Federal Executive Council.
This policy will ensure that Nigeria does everything to engage its citizens abroad. I mean, we've been paying lip service to the fact that we are the best in the world. There's nowhere you don't go to that Nigerians are not excelling. So what do we do about that? How do we get them to contribute to their home country? How do we get them to the part of the development of their home country? This policy will make sure that all that happens.
Nigerians in the diaspora travel the world after all and are getting new ideas and new perspectives, just as they understand that all races, black and white, are all humans capable of courage, intelligence and otherwise. Now with the new national policy put in place, development experts believe diasporas will have more faith for the better future of Nigeria. In Abuja, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Sport Update is next with Badia Delea.